I have been putting off making this video for months. It's just so dark, so personal. I guess it's like pulling off a Band-Aid. Sometimes you just gotta rip it off. We have a serious problem. And by we, I literally mean you and me. You see, here's the thing. I am almost certainly going to die much sooner than I thought, and in a way that I really never thought possible. Oh, and here's the fun part. There is a very significant chance that you're going to wind up that way too. This is my father. He was born in 1933. After high school, he went into construction. To raise a family, he bought and sold several houses, kind of begrudgingly. He was the stick the roots in the ground sort of kind of guy. He eventually worked for the government, again as a plumber. He retired at 55 on a nice little pension, and he lived in this house till the day he died. Quite comfortably. I was born in 1961. After high school, I went into, well, software engineering. I raised a family too. I had quite the lucrative salary, bought and sold a few houses, not quite making as much equity thanks to the president who gave us 2 back-to-back recessions. Anyway, there the similarities between my father and I end, because unlike him, I will never be able to retire. Let me repeat that again, because it's important. I will never be able to retire. Hi, I'm Rick Higgins, and let's just do this confessional style. No fancy YouTube tricks and edits to keep you watching through the end of the video. The topic is really that important and really that scary, and between you and I, we really need to figure it out. One of the larger collective problems that we face today is even though we have a really significant income and really significant savings, there really is no way that we can stop working. I mean, eventually we're going to have to. Obviously, no one's going to hire the 87-year-old version of us. But then one day our earning life is going to end and we're going to have to live on whatever residual savings we may have made. And if you've been following the American dream, the American plan for getting to that point, you're going to be When my father was born, life expectancy for the average American male was 62 years old. Now it's 77, and scientists are actively working. Their current goal is 120 years of life, which sounds great. I mean, who doesn't want to live into the future and see if Star Wars actually comes to be? But how are we going to afford all those extra years? 77 to 120? Nobody planned for that. Now, the biggest problem facing you and I are, well, housing costs for one thing, but mostly it's medical expenses. We're basically just one illness away from complete catastrophe. You see, the American healthcare system, it puts a priority on profits, not on actual healthcare, not on actual outcomes. You and I, we're simply a commodity, and everybody in the United States pretty much just accepts this as truth. Socialized medicine is the answer. Pshaw, that is blasphemy you speak of. Capitalism and trickle-down economics will set us free, right? You see, here's the sad part. Most of us are already making personal healthcare decisions based on how much money we're willing to spend. Do we want to go have a few extra tests, or do we want to put a little extra money in the savings in case the furnace breaks? Okay, story time. Me personally, I have had a lot of medical issues. I have had an autoimmune disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome. I've had it twice. It left me completely paralyzed from the neck down, and it took me about a year to recover. I also have Alzheimer's in my family. My father died of it last year, and I have, I don't know, half a dozen other relatives, which also went the same way. My mother died of cancer, and cancer runs in my family. So it's pretty clear that a disease-free future for me, well, it's not in the cards. So I took a 2-year sabbatical off of work to get my head straight after a big burnout, which means I have no income, which means I have no insurance. I had to go get my own through the marketplace. I pay almost $1,000 a month for basic insurance. What does that mean? $5,000 deductible. And even after I cough up that much money, they only cough up 80% of any cost I incur. And sooner rather than later, I'm probably going to have to use it. Best case for me, I'm thinking maybe 15 years. I think I can stay gainfully employed and, well, gainfully healthy for that amount of time until, I don't know, 78, 80 years old. But after that, I have zero expectations of having anything go smoothly. So, I suppose you and I, we need to solve this. So what is it exactly that keeps me awake at night? Do you remember way back when if someone said they lived in a van down by the river, you would just expect them to be homeless? And now maybe it's the same thing, but we're homeless on purpose. Well, that's why I am living in this bus. It is a hell of a lot cheaper to have a set of wheels under you and you're able to move from place to place, and it is to pay for, well, a home, the American dream. Now, what do I do with this bus later on? Maybe I park it in my daughter's driveway and hope they'll throw me some food scraps and leftovers after they eat dinner. I mean, is that my retirement plan? Now, I have a lot of friends who have gone the expat route, leaving the United States to go somewhere cheaper with better health care. And yes, there are quite a few countries: Dominican Republic, Bolivia, Mexico, Panama. Costa Rica used to be getting a little expensive these days, but it is actually so much cheaper to live elsewhere. Housing is cheaper, medical expenses are nothing. But here's the problem: if I were to do that, I would feel guilty. I didn't pay anything into their system. I'm just sucking money out of it. I mean, do I have that right to go down there and do it? And plus, you're so far away from family, and if you want to see them, you got to hop on a plane. And that kind of costs money too. I guess maybe I can expect them to come visit me. So, why do Americans devalue age? Why do we value corporate greed over ourselves? Why do we keep putting elected officials into office who care more about contributions and profits over, well, us? Why have we made ourselves a commodity, and why do we allow it? It's an untenable house of cards. What are your plans for retirement, for reaching that 120 years of age that the scientists are promising us? Leave it in the comments below. Now, as far as my advice to you as to how to solve all of this, I have no freaking idea. That's why I'm not sleeping at night. Thanks for watching.